Hey people, Intrid here, 3v3, Hades Wastes, blue team. Got some Orc players. This is Finale and a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines, the Goths elite scheme here. Nightmare with a Mekboy teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat with a bunch of versatile Orky gadgets. More Goths. Rounding off this blue team is Takeshi Kovacs with a Daemonhunter, a melee spellcaster with strong support and control. Red team, some Space Marine players. Daddy Crewfinity is a Techmarine. Starts off with a bolt gun, can support with structures and repair. Can get some melee going as well. Alongside nucka4ya as a force commander, very strong offense, fighting in melee combat, can tank, disrupt and support. Blood Ravens. And rounding off the teams, Gatts rocking a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat by default, great for capping and harassing, some powerful control. Two teleporting heroes on the eastern side. Mekboy is run off the field though. Shooter Boy is still in play. And the other Orks rotated mid early on. War Banner goes up. And it's been activated, which gives a small but long-lasting buff, which you can use alongside your own screams of war from your infantry. And it all stacked together. Double Inquisitorial Stormtroopers into a strike squad for Takeshi. And Daemonhunter leading the line now through the mid. Eldar backing off, not wanting to fight the two players there. On the west side, Warboss happy to fight anything. Some shooter boys barely getting away with one model. Techmarine's going to be tied up in melee, which he's not going to enjoy at the moment. Could get Bionics up or something. Maybe Warboss with a stomp. Might need to run. Does need to run. Shooter boys should be shooting those scouts. They'd get models off them, I think. The Tactical Marines go in for some melee. They got the Techmarine down. I guess that was worth it, eh? Should get a decent chunk of XP for taking down a hero. And you don't get as much these days for reviving them. Double tax there for nucka4ya. Double tax also for Crewfinity. Techmarine will indeed get revived. Howling Banshee's in some trouble. Fighting some strike squad fellas. Orcs in retreat path. Can they ducker them down? They can. Howling Banshee's wipe. Mekboy was also doing some stuff, electric armor in there you saw a bit of, and they were shooting a bunch of stuff as well. Teleporting in to tie up the Tactical Marines with the overhand gun smash that he does there. Strike Squad have their Tomes of Titan. I'm sure those Banshees got a taste of the banishment at some point. Double Kraken bolts on those Tactical Marines with 20% more damage versus heavy infantry such as the Strike Squad. It does affect their melee attacks as well. You see them closing for melee. Gonna catch these guys as they retreat. There's battle cry as well. Somehow they get away with 3 models. More attacks on retreat path. Oh, I didn't go after them though. Could have maybe got 2 models off them there if they popped Kraken bolts and went for melee. Force Commander gets in and murders the Daemonhunter. He'll be alright if he just gets, someone just has to go and tap him on the shoulder or get back up again. Maybe the Mekboy can go and do it. You did see the energy burst on the Force Commander during that fight as well, which might have helped save those Strike Squad as well, because it meant the Force Commander couldn't get maybe 1 or 2 more melee attacks in as they ran away. 390 to 500 on the VPs. Double cap for the red team. Warboss, I think, has judged it okay. Yeah, should be fine. Unless there's something else on the path. I don't see anything on the map. Meanwhile, his Orcs are bashing natural power in the northwest. Node is down, 1 gen is down, going after another gen. Shooter boys do have their big shooters, and there's some suppression from aiming. What's that? Oh, did they do it? I thought I saw the animation for it, but I guess not. There we go. There's aiming. What's that on those tacks as they try to close for melee. Got some shotgun scouts in too. Gatts did not replace the Banshees and has an upgrade. Oh, there we go. Now replaces them. Where did all their requisition go then? Oh, they've got heavy gauge death spinner and improved targeters. I don't think you should be, well, I don't know. I feel like you should get some units on the field first before you spend a bunch on war gear. Maybe they're already queued up when the Banshees are alive. Finale just lost some shooter boys, as you saw, but now has Storm Boys and replaces the lost shooter boys. Almost wiped those tacks. Devastators need to run. Shotgun scouts doing some work, eh? Grenade didn't quite hit there. Nice idea, though. Only 2 Storm Boys alive. Is it worth turning and trying to get some shotguns? Okay, they retreated. Meanwhile, through the mid, natural power here for the blue team. Defended by a bunch of Orks, including a Pain Boy up for Nightmare. Sub-commander for the Orks. As a heal over time. There we go. The Git source that you can only cast on Orc units. Just chucks it at them or something. Has some damage over time melee attacks as well. And can explode Orcs in tier 2, which is quite fun. Tier 2 for Takeshi. Tier 2 for nucka4ya. Daddy, Crewfinity went double tax into double devs. Lots of Space Marine firepower. Warboss trying to get around the Devastator's firing arc. Banshees shouting and getting wrecked again by electric armor. They alright? They are alright, it seems. Double Kraken bolts again. Strike squad need to run. Oh, Crewfinity's down again. Should get revived, I think, from there. Finale with Angry Bits on the power. With double shooters. Sluggers off the field. Storm Boys coming back onto the field. And blue team push up northeast here with a natural victory point and decap it thanks to some stormtroopers. Tier 2's locking in now for nucka4ya and Takeshi, and Gatts has also gone. Did they get... Yes, we do have an aspect for the Howling Banshees, aspect of fleetness. Walks for the Exarch reviving the Techmarine there. Level 2 Techmarine. Level 2 Force Commander with Artifice Armor. Did they power bash? Well, there's one gen missing. So something's been done. Something's afoot. Howling Banshees making their way back onto the field. Not fully healed, though. Librarian on the way for nucka4ya. Takeshi with some purifiers. Melee superiority unit. Can get a heavy melee Justicar in there. Have a long charge range, those fellas. 304 to 466 on the VPs. Power bash on the other side now. One of those new Ordo Malleus gens there. Scouts being all sneaky, maybe looking for a grenade. On approaching Orks, perhaps. Oh, I think their energy's too low to actually chuck the grenade down. That was the Force Rod and Retribution. Knockback damage and a silence effect. Very, very cool ability. No war gear yet for this Techmarine, eh? Warboss with a bang bang hammer to buff those sluggers and the Storm Boys. So timing is going to be important. Going to want that Warboss in melee alongside those guys when possible. Meanwhile, the Purifiers have set themselves on fire for the Emperor and stuff. And they have their Justicar going after Librarian. You see that on fire effect. Silencing units, and there is Psychic Fortress. Global ability of the Daemonhunter. Slows down and drains the energy of nearby enemies. It's very cool. Force Commander's got a Sacred Standard. Constant damage buffs on nearby allied infantry, which increases if the Force Commander falls over. 283 to 455 on the VPs. Force Commander getting duckered. Now might have to fight some Strike Squad as well. Indeed he does. Happy to do so for now, trying to buy time. Oh, here we go. Oh, I thought that was a drop pod coming in. That was just Retribution again. We're trying to get a knock back on the Force Commander, I think, which would make him very vulnerable to a bunch of melee. And then be finished off. Strike Squad have their Justicar. Gives them more health and melee damage, I believe. Might need to run though, fellas. Double tax in melee. That was a strange place to put the Rift Tear there. Howling Banshees giving chase. Warp Speeder Exarch giving chase, trying to finish off the Strike Squad. Close to doing so, but they do get away. 283 to 422. Orks again pushing this northwestern power point. Just can't seem to hold the line even with double devs. Now a Razorback on the way, which might prompt a Power Claw switch, maybe? Storm Boys can get it with their Nob Leader. There's electric armor again. And there's the Purifiers. Banshees need to run. War Shout saved them, I think. Oh, Sluggers on retreat path. Maybe not. Scouts. Okay, scouts weren't needed. The Howling Banshees made it away. Warp Spreader Exarch level 2 will not make it away. Getting silenced by the Strat Squad there, so I couldn't teleport again, I think. Not by the Strat Squad, by the Purifiers. Can't remember what that ability is called. That self-immolation thing is. Level 3 webway on the way for Gatts. It's the first tier 3. Didn't get any tier 2 units, I think, right? Western side. Got Tax decapping. Those guys are fast capping units. There's your Razorback. Support unit for Space Marines can reinforce infantry. And they can jump inside. You just saw the scout jump inside there. Because there's an angry Warboss on the way. Finale calling 2. Which I don't think is correct. I think this is all Crewfinity here. We just got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Nice positioning on those Devastators, but those guys being, yeah, shut down pretty hard by a Weird Boy and then Retribution coming in. Purifiers on retreat path. Strike Squad on retreat path. Those Devastators did not get away. Just as I said, I like the positioning of them, they die. The Curse of Indrid always strikes. Tank Busters idle at base. One way to deal with the Razorback. Razorback did take a big chunk of damage there. Oh, Foot of Gork. Hit some Tactical Marines. And there was the Retribution as well. They do have a plasma gun, these fellas. What about the other Marines? Another plasma gun here for nucka4ya. Nothing for Crewfinities. They did lose one of the attacks as well. There's that Nob Leader of the Storm Boys. Got a heavy melee chopper. Knows how to swing it. And improved rocket packs. Does explosive damage, so they could use it to finish off the Razorback maybe. Only 45 though. 261 to 373. And it's a good amount of damage on a clump of infantry, but it's not going to do much to a vehicle. Daemonhunter with a Banishing Cloak. Rites of Exorcism to... It says cripple enemy vehicles. I believe it slows them down and makes them take more damage. But how close do you need to be to use it? Doesn't tell me. Oh, down goes the Razorback. There we go. Tank Busters getting it done. One of the most effective anti-vehicle units, these fellas. Especially if you can land this barrage thing. Using it to disrupt the Devastators at the moment. Look at the damage it does. Compare that to the Frenzied Barrage of the Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought, for example. Sluggers leave the VP to the Stormtroopers. That is a very good Retribution. Wow. That affect like 6 units. Now he's happy to fight some Howling Banshees. Psychic Fortress doing things there. What was that explosion? Oh, we got some stick bombers. Dreadnoughts on the way for Crewfinity. Red team do have the 2-to-1 cap. I feel like blue team have been getting the better of some of the recent fights, but red team with their solid backlines able to hold the VPs. Gatts now with some Warp Spiders and a Seer Council on the way. 229 to 373 on the VPs. That was a pull da boys reinforcing all these Orks for finale. Just appear beside him. Storm Boys. Those guys will stun on landing because of their big fat Nob Leader. But didn't hit those tacks. Gonna jump again. Oh, Bomber Boys, there we go. Knock over those devs. 214 to 373. Big old retreat. And the blue team should now take the Western VP back. Their naturals under assault though. Howling Banshees in amongst some Strat Squad. Banshee's taking a huge amount of damage there. Strat Squad messed them up. Banshees, I think, are okay. Did they have their... I don't think they had their Exarch in there. 204 to 373. I see Storm Boys jumping on the minimap. Tank Busters going for some power bashing. Look at how effective that power bash is. That's crazy. 1 gen down already. Here's the Dreadnought. Starts off as a full-on melee unit for the Space Marines, with a wrist-mounted flamer and inspiration on kill. There's some Seer Council with their aura of damage resistance affecting all these Space Marines now, but there's a Tempest from Armor of Damnation. 204 to 361. The Tempest was stopped. Didn't channel it for long. Dreadnought has found the strike squad and they are taken out. All of a sudden, Takeshi down to 2 units, Finale down to 3, but a Nob squad is on the way. So is a Vortimer Razorback. These guys need to run. Gonna burn down the node. There we go. Retribution gets tossed in again. Purifiers are level 2. What about the heroes? Level 3 Warboss, level 3 Daemonhunter, level 2 Mech does have the big shooter. Techmarine level 3 and... oh, just got revived, I think. And then runs away. Warp Spider level 3 and a level 4 Force Commander. No weapon for this fella yet. No war gear whatsoever for the Techmarine. Allowed it to get that rather large army. Has dropped some units off it though. 186 to 355. 2 to 1 for red. Warboss wants the VP back, but does not want to fight a Dreadnought. Basically never wants to fight a melee Dreadnought, but certainly not with a Bang Bang Hammer. Charges in and then dies. Foot of Gork though, with Tempest. Nice little combo. Made a bunch of stuff retreat there, which makes this fight a lot easier. There's a Nob squad in there with their EU jammers. Dreadnought is not going to get away. Down it goes. Purifies scaring off some attacks there. Level 3 attacks as well. Warboss gets revived. 160 to 355. That was a good fight for the blue team. And Vortimer now power bashing. Can they get on that VP quickly? They're kind of at the stage where they need to be very careful with the VPs. Eldar back in the field after having to retreat from that nastiness. Seer Council with their empowered spears now. Gives them heavy melee damage. Again, I think people are kind of purchasing that a little bit quickly maybe. Because unless the DPS is higher, I think the DPS stays the same, but I could be wrong. Would be better, I think. I mean, they are up against a looted tank. Maybe that's why they did it. But to fight the Nob squad, maybe they should keep power melee on. That bonus damage could make a big difference. Howling Banshees in there alongside the Seer Council. Warp Vomit from the Weird Boy shuts them down. And they're taking tank shots. No battle equipment for those double Guardians. Might be worth just chucking those guys away if they're not going to be upgraded. I guess they could be used as capping units. On the VP. Warp Spider's going for it, I think. Level 3, this fella with improved warp generator. Might see some group teleport shenanigans into the back lines with the Banshees and the Seer Council. Goes for the decap. 2 to 1 for blue. Seer Council chasing the Vortimer. Lascanen gets a shot, but the Seer Council can't stay on it. Is that Veil of Time? I think that's Veil of Time on the Devastators now. Daemonhunter goes down. Warboss comes charging in though. Does a stomp. The stomp was weird. I think he got knocked over just as he started the stomp animation. Fire Prism says hello. Solid hit on those Purifiers. A tank now for Crewfinity. And it's double Vortimers. Double Vortimers and the looted tank. I think it is indeed worth to get the empowered spears now. What can they do about this Nob squad? Mastercrafted bolt gun perhaps to suppress them. Also a plasma gun and marked target is also pretty nice for a Nob squad. Well, nice for fighting them. Land Red Redeemer on the way for nucka4ya. Force Commander's gone for a Power Fist. And the Warp Spider could heavy gauge the Nob squad, I suppose. There's a las cannon here. I'm guessing the Land Raider will go Western VP, which is currently blue. These guys taking a circuitous route. Are they going for the power here? There's the tank of Crewfinity. Might just get swarmed by the knobs, especially if Nightmare is around to do an over there. Not sure if they have that upgrade though. Tank busters are also around. There's a Stormboy jump. Straight onto the Predator tank. Here's some Eldar support to try and save it. Stomped. They all get stomped. Nob squad now start throwing that damage down. Warboss has to run. Tank can now deliver some DPS alongside the Fire Prism. Banshee's War shouting. They did a decent job there, keeping the Nob squad at bay. 153 to 277. Void Boy gets a solid hit on the Warp Spider's face. Stun bombs. One of them hit the tank. Just getting repaired though. I guess that's one reason to keep Guardians around. You can use them to repair stuff. Double cap for blue team now. Maybe a triple, you know. Purifies on this, level 3. Another Nob squad on the way this time for Nightmare, and another Tank Buster squad on the way for Finale. Can they get the triple up? I think they can. There it is. Double Vortimus trying to take on the Predator tank. Still no war gear for this Techmarine. Stick bombs trying to stop the cap, and they do so. Oh, not they didn't. They decapped it in time. Red team trying to get their natural back. Force commanders on it with a Land Raider Redeemer alongside him. But now runs. Vortimer's using their awesome mobility. I think they're like 7 speed or something crazy like that. More scouts on the way for nucka4ya to repair the Land Raider when it needs it, I guess. Does have an allied Techmarine though, it can support vehicles very well. Fire Prism needs to be very careful around any heavy melee. Good Retribution sets up the push. I think you all need to run. Techmarine gets swatted to death by the Nob squad. And they've gone for a las cannon Predator. Be very effective against the Vortimers. Daemonhunter unable to channel Tempest for very long. Mekboy is going to get revived, I think. Warboss is on it. Now has the heavy armor up near 2,000 hit points at level 4. Gatts with Wraith Guard on the way. Takeshi with Grey Knight Terminators on the way. Both those vehicles still going for the red team, doing well. Venerable. It is a Venerable Dreadnought dropped in by Crewfinity. Unique to the Techmarine. Big bucket hit points and can charge. Special attack there. Nob squad go after it. There's the Emperor's Fist. Now trying to get away. Is the Venerable? No, he's ready to fight. There's Ard Boys on the Nob squad. Dreadnought taking tons of damage already. Don't think he's going to last very long. Tries to charge away. Tank Busters get the last volley they needed. And the Dreadnought goes down. It's in Stoicism mode now. Which gives it more damage and constant inspiration for 10 seconds. But then it goes down. An explosive entrance. And an explosive death for the Dreadnought. Takeshi's Grey Knight Terminators. With splash damage halberds. Side cannon in. And they just got their Lib Heretic, or whatever it's called, to do the Incinerate. Which is a good tool to use against a Nob squad. Unfortunately for the red team, they're on the Nob squad side. Nob squad on the Land Raider now, just pummeling it to death with full momentum on those huge jammers. Frag Assault knocks them back. Land Raider needs to keep moving and needs support from this Eldar here. Is that a shotgun blast? Oh, it was a grenade, I think. They didn't get suppressed, I don't think. Those Eldar weren't really quick to assist, were they? It was Gatts. Oh, Gatts was probably looking at this stuff. Fire Prism's way too far forward. Hey, we now got a Melter Gun Techmarine with Signum armor. Good damage to all targets. And can debuff damage resistance with this by 40%. It's quite huge. And range damage up 10%. Not bad. 123 to 133. VP's very even. I think I hear Banshee's war shouting, but we'll keep an eye on these scouts. They got head-butted to death, so did the Techmarine. The Predator tank has survived, so has the Fire Prism, actually. Land Raider Redeemer also survived. nucka4ya needs to get something on the field. Maybe some Assault Terminators with claws. All 3 red team heroes down, which makes a massive difference when fighting. Huge, huge difference. I mean, 1 hero versus none is a big difference. 3 heroes versus none. Mammoth difference, although Takeshi's down as well now. So it's just the 2 angry orc fellas. One angrier and bigger than the other. Fire Prism needs repairs, but it doesn't seem to be time to do that, because it's a triple cap for the blue team now. Daemonhunter just got revived by a friendly Mekboy who has Mega Rumbler and the custom force field. Map looking very blue, not looking good for the red team here. Land Raider didn't really have the impact that they were hoping for. Red team were just a bit too depleted, and they couldn't really deal with those Nob Squad rushes in the end. A rock's thrown in. Looks like the blue team have it. A triple cap still going. Those guys trying to decap the natural, but it's still going to be a blue team victory. A solid orky game with some Daemonhunter support, eh? Level 5 Warboss up over 2,000 hit points, of course. Level 8 Daemonhunter did really well. Lots of awesome Retribution uses. Seemed to be able to get big clumps of infantry with it. Level 7 Mech with a bunch of Daka. Level 5 Techmarine had that big tier 1 army. Couldn't hold on to it, though. And then the vehicles, well, the Dreadnoughts didn't really do the job. The tank was good, though. Level 5 Force Commander with Teleporter pack at the end. And a level 5 Warp Spider Exarch down at the end, too. Don't think I noticed a group teleport being used. I'm sure it was. The Seer Council did survive level 3. Well, there you have it, guys. A fun game. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. And I'll see ya next time.